You're not having a good time, you're wasting your time. You say that every night.
Relationships and situationships and, you know, all things like that. Thank you so much.
Daddy Young, 265 gallons of pure milk chocolate. And you are watching the Social Dose.
All right, I'd like to welcome you to Before the Vision. As you can see the young man in front of me, I'd like to introduce y'all to the young man. His name is Terrell Latchinson, man. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, man, we appreciate you being here, bro. Now, before we get into the discussion and why the reason I have you here today, man, I got to give you your flowers like I told you offline. I actually have to let everybody know a little bit about you. So for those that are watching, Terrell Latchinson's early life was shaped by growing up in a military household in Germany. His parents instilled discipline, a strong work ethic, and a self-respect in him and his brother. Terrell continued his education at McNeese State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree while working full-time and joining Phi Alpha fraternity incorporated. His experience growing up in a military family and pursuing higher education in the U.S. have undoubtedly contributed to his success in life. Mr. Latchinson is a husband and a father of two, found solace in writing as a form of therapy after the tragic loss of his sibling. His emotions and experiences later inspired him to write his first book, which you can see before you, which focuses on how kids who look like him and his peers can become narcissists. His book aims to tackle the taboo subject of mental illness in minority communities and spark a much needed conversation. Men and women of color often struggle to understand their mental disorders and have trouble relating to information provided by medical professionals. Mr. Latchinson's hopes in his creative writing style will help break down these barriers and provide much needed insight into mental illness within minority communities. All right, man, I had to give you your flowers, bro. Everybody got to know what you got going on, man. Like for those that are watching, like I said, I met this young man at McNeese State University. We're actually in the same dorm, so it's been a long time coming. Hey, man, so, man, what's good with you, man?
Shout out to everybody in Burton. Shout out to everybody in Burton that went to McNeese State University around that time. That was the trenches.
Man, yes, sir, man. So, man, for those that are watching, man, tell us a little bit about Terrell Latchinson, other than outside the information I've already provided them.
I'm a regular guy. Again, went to McNeese State, joined a fraternity, lived amongst the regular common folks. I'm a regular common folk myself. I'm a hardworking father. I mean, I think most of my success I attribute to my success of raising my kids. You know, my kids are my everything. I don't gauge success based off of the money I've made, the jobs I've done, the fraternities that I've pledged. My success comes and is derived from what my kids have done, or what they're doing right now. I have some great kids. I have a 25-year-old and a 17-year-old. 17-year-old is about to graduate. 25-year-old graduated from LSU in engineering. So I couldn't be any prouder from the success that I've done, that myself and my wife and my village has done in regards to raising my kids.
All right. So for those that are watching, there's an image to the right of you, it's a copy. It's a copy of your book. Very nice presentation, simple but yet elegant, man. So we're gonna get into these questions while you're here, man. So what motivated you to become an author?
At the top of your story, you mentioned that I suffered a tragic loss in regards to my brother.
Okay.
My brother and I, we're 10 and a half months apart, same age for about a month and a couple of days. And that was my best friend. That was the person that I played with every day. We shared best friends all through life. We played on the same sports teams. We were in the same classroom most of our life. And losing him was tragic. And, you know, my brother was in the military. He did a couple of tours in the military, and he unfortunately came back with PTSD really bad. And I didn't understand it. I understand PTSD, but I didn't understand his form of PTSD because it comes in different shapes, different forms for everybody. You know, it looks different for everyone. And I didn't understand it. So when he died, that was one of my things that I regret, that I didn't understand him. I didn't take my time to understand more about PTSD so I could be there for my brother. So the campaign in regarding mental health, that started there. I promised God that you know, if you kept him alive, you know, when you're suffering through tragedy, you start promising a lot of things. And I will be honest with you, that was one of my promises. Hey, keep my brother alive while he's on his deathbed. Keep him alive. I promise I'll be an advocate for mental health. I'll do whatever I can to help these people out. Unfortunately, he didn't make it through, and I didn't know at the time. God was going to use my words and put me in a position to be that advocate. So I feel like today I'm standing on that. And I got to the point where I started writing as a form of therapy, just writing about how I felt about the loss. And then after a while, I started writing about whatever was in my head. And once I got to that point, I started learning that I have an ability to write. I didn't have the formal training of writing. I never was a writer. I didn't go to school for writing. It just kind of shaped its way into me writing about a kid and how a kid became a narcissist, and that's where Nehemiah was formed. And once I got that writing bug, I couldn't stop, and now I'm here.
Okay, so what has been some of the trials and tribulations you have faced with being an author?
Obviously, this is my first book. I'm in the process. I've already written 2 other books, and one of the books that I've written is the sequel to Nehemiah the Narcissist. It's Nehemiah Goes to College. Drop a little gem for you guys. You heard it here first because I haven't told anybody that the title of it, but it's Nehemiah Goes to College. But the trials and tribulations that I face in regards to writing is just learning how to be a writer. Again, like I said, I've never written a book before. I've only known one person that had ever written a book, and that's just happened to be my editor. Shout out to Jamie Mays. She did a great job editing my book and helping me get from taking a nothing bunch of words and literature and forming it into a book. And, the trials and tribulations are just, again, learning how to create characters. They call it character art. Create characters, learning how to say it instead of showing it instead of saying it. I'm sorry for that. Just all the nuances in regards to writing a book. I knew nothing about any of it, and just the structure of everything. So writing a book wasn't the easiest thing I've ever done, but I'm glad that I'm where I'm at right now.
All right, man. That was deep, man. So I want to ask you a question. I know we kind of covered it maybe in more of the information that I provided for the audience that are actually tuned in. So,
Yep.
You spoke a lot about your brother. So this actually leads me to my next question. Who or
Okay.
what does your motivation come from?
Honestly, again, my motivation is my kids. It's not only just my kids; it's my family. It's my nephews. It's my nieces. It's my mom, my dad. My wife. It's my village. I'm motivated because, unfortunately, I don't have that many people that work white collar jobs that live around me. I don't know that many people that went to college and graduated. I don't know that many people that joined the fraternity. I don't know that many people that are doctors and lawyers. So I feel like I'm motivated and I'm pushed to be that first so that they can be that second, that third, that fourth, and that we can continue that generation. But that's my motivation. I'm not motivated by money. Money is necessary in regard. It's a means. It's necessary to fund and push this machine. But honestly, I'm motivated by success and being the figurehead to those individuals that I mentioned.
Okay. So I know this is your first book that you've written, man. So with you writing a book, I know you've had some experiences to kind of come along with being an author, man. So where are some of the places you've traveled to, to talk about your book or even had book signings? Man, how has this experience been from you, man, being able to go to different places, and where have you been?
So far, I've had 2 book signings. I had one book signing here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. This is where I reside. It was a huge success. Had it here at Ray's. And humbly, I would say, for my first book signing, selling 160 books the first time out the gate was huge. So, it kind of set the foundation in regards to my expectations. So first book signing was here at Lake Charles, which again went really, really well, beyond my expectations. The second one I had in my hometown, my mom and my dad is from Monroe. Again, like I said before, I'm a military brat, so I didn't grow up. I can't say that I'm from Monroe, didn't go to school in Monroe, but I'm from Monroe. So my parents are from, I saw my aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone that I know and love. The majority of the people I know and love are from Monroe. So I had my second book signing in Monroe, which was again, last Tuesday in Gonzaga University out in Spokane, Washington. So that was pretty big. I was able to speak to the students, speak to the staff, answer some really, really tough questions, which was pushed me to the limit, but I failed, of course. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the many, many endeavors that I have going forward.
Okay, so with that opportunity, when you said you traveled to Gonzaga, to
Yes.
actually discuss, that experience, has that opened more experience for you to go to different locations to actually talk about what you're doing, or we kind of still in process?
It most certainly did. I don't want to speak on them in regards to dropping names because
Okay.
they have, I haven't got a contract, so until it's signed, I'm not gonna mention it. But it definitely has opened lots of doors for me. I've already been in conversations talking to McBeast, my alma mater. So the sky's the limit in regards, just talking about the book, talking about mental health, talking about narcissism, just bringing awareness and starting that conversation for individuals that look like me, because of course, again, narcissism, mental health itself is a taboo subject, and a lot of people don't like talking about mental health. It's always been one of those things, forgive me for saying it, but whenever, you have someone that has mental health issues, everyone would kind of push them to the back. If you had a cousin that was slower than everyone else, you would put them in another room. You wouldn't let them come out in the front. So for my culture and the individuals that I know, the way I grew up, it was always a taboo subject. You don't mention that you're depressed. You don't mention that you have anxiety. You don't mention that you suffer from narcissism, or that you suffer from bipolar, or whatever the case may be. So I look forward to going out and just pushing this narrative and just starting that conversation regarding mental health for people that look like me.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of change the subject just a little bit, just a tiny bit, but I really want to kind of stay within the realm of mental health. Are you familiar with the incident that occurred at Southern University with the young man that lost his life while pledging?
I am familiar, and it is, my heart goes out to that kid as well as his family. I'm familiar, but I don't have enough details to go into details regarding the situation, or to point fingers, or say that someone is bad or someone is good. Or I'm not going to say anything in that regard. I'm going to say that my heart goes out to the family. I am familiar. I am a part of the D9. I'm a member of the Alpha Phi fraternity incorporated, and of course, so I'm familiar with the lifestyle. I'm familiar with what happens. This is something that we talk about every single time we go to a convention. It's something that is shunned upon. So I get it that it happened, and I'm so hurt, because I have a 25-year-old, and my son, he's a legacy. He's an Alpha. He went to LSU in Baton Rouge where the incident happened. So it's unfortunate that happened, because you automatically start thinking about your own. I mean, I know it sounds selfish to say, but you see tragedy that hits for someone at the age that you're of your kids, you start automatically thinking about your kids. So I thought about my son, like that could have been my son. Of course, he didn't go through that kind of process, but it still, it could have easily been my son. He could have been lured to do that. So my heart goes out, and I wish nothing but the best. And I love how Southern as well as Baton Rouge is taking care of the kids. I saw a vigil, I saw a parade, I saw a lot of things going on. I hear that a lot of kids are getting grief counseling, so it ties into mental health. Some of these kids may be affected by that for the rest of their life. Those young men that were linked up with him, that was arm and shoulder with this kid, are going to have to carry that weight for the rest of their lives. The individuals that allegedly did what they did are going to have to carry that for the rest of their lives. So they're going to have mental issues going forward. So again, hopefully they get the help that they need. But it is definitely an unfortunate event.
Okay. And once again, I know we're discussing with you being an author, and you actually putting out your first, masterpiece with Nehemiah the Narcissist. Did you being a part of Phi Alpha fraternity, did it help mold you and help in your creative process of you becoming an author? Some of the skills and values you learned.
It's hard to equate it into writing a book, but I learned so much from my fraternity. I learned. Of course, I have a dad, so I learned how to be a man from my dad and from my uncles and my peers amongst me. But they took the man that my dad made, and they refined it. So just being a first class citizen, and always putting yourself first, and just being happy and being prideful about everything that you do. That was some of the things they instilled in me, and that brotherhood and just that love, that genuine trust of one another, is something that they gave to me. So it's hard to equate that and put it into words in regards to writing a book, because nothing in regards to Alpha helped me write a book, but that support that they've given me, and that love, and that confidence that they instilled in me has went a long way in regards to the process.
Okay. So my next question is, what advice would you give a potential author, someone that actually want to start to write books? What type of advice would you give them?
Do as much research as you possibly can in regards to the subject. If you're writing about yourself, of course, you don't really have to research yourself. But if you're writing, of course, my genre is contemporary fiction. So I'm writing a fictional book. Nothing in the book is about Terrell. Nothing in the book is about anybody that I know, it's fiction. So of course I have to research. So, do your due diligence in regards to research, and also remain steadfast in regards to your beliefs and what you want to do in regards to your product. You're gonna have people that's gonna suggest that you take your product or you take your literature to the level where you envision your literature to go right. If you want to remain right, remain steadfast, because this is yours. This is a part of you. This is something that's going to be linked to you. This is something that your kids are going to look up to for the remainder of your life. If anyone that looks up to you, they're going to look up to this. They're going to look at this literature and this package and say, okay, he or she did this because out of their heart. So just remain steadfast in what you love and what you believe.
Okay. So my next question, this is what it leads me to. So tell us something about you that no one else knows about you. No one. And you sharing it with the social ghost right now.
Well, I can't say no one, but I can almost assure that the majority of the individuals that say about it. But in my house, my brother and I, we like watching Tony Hawk. We played our game. We played Sega. They had a game on Sega. It was some kind of Tony Hawk game. We played that thing all night.
Oh, wow. All right. Look, man, we ain't going to keep you.
I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. So I appreciate you for asking me that question. But you asked, so I'm going to answer.
Okay, I got you. Hey, man, before we get you up out of here, man, like for those who are interested in purchasing a copy of your book, where can your book be found? Are there different versions, like an audio book? And what's your preferred method of contact if someone wants to get in contact with you to invite you out to maybe do a public speaking event? What's your preferred method of contact?
The book can be purchased on Amazon.com. Of course, you just go on Amazon. I think we all have Amazon at this point. I don't know how you live without having Amazon, delivered to your house. So you can purchase my book. You just type in my name, Terrell Latchinson, or you can type in Nehemiah the Narcissist, and you can purchase it right there online. You can purchase it for myself if you're local. You have my information on your out. I always have books on me. I treat my books like I'm selling CDs, like I'm a rapper. So I'm slinging books out the trunk all day. So you can also purchase them, for myself. In regards to contacting me, you can contact me on my email address. My email is my first and my last name. It's Terrell, Terrell, Latchinson, Latchison @gmail.com. And you can reach out to me at any time, and I'd love to do as many of these podcasts, as many speaking events as I can. This is something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about reaching minorities and just anybody that has mental health issues, and just kind of resonating a message to them that helps them out, that helps them get better, so they can speak. So again, I'm writing several other books. The other books, they're going to all be centered around mental health. I'm not just writing about narcissism. I have a book that I'm writing about depression. I have another book that I'm writing about PTSD. That one's going to hit me hard because that's going to be about my brother. I didn't want to make that one my first book because I wanted to make that one, I wanted to get some skin in the game and understand what I'm doing before I write about a subject that I'm so dear to. I have several ideas in regards to the books. Every book that I write is going to be centered around, again, mental health. And it's going to be centered around mental health and how it looks to us. So what I mean by that is, when you watch the movie Boys in the Hood, at first glance, you're going to watch that movie and think, okay, this is just another hood movie. This is more like Men's Society. But when you get older and you start really watching it with your third eye, you understand that there's lots of gems. And, they're speaking about gentrification. There's messages throughout that book. Throughout that movie. So every one of my books, I plan to do the same thing. I plan to speak to people that look like me and to write about how we deal with mental health.
All right, man. Like I say, man, we really appreciate you giving us the time that you've given us. You already know when you chill with the ghost, you become a goat, man. We're going to have a small gift coming your way soon. So I'll get with you out offline and we'll discuss that. And once again, man, y'all, I really like to appreciate Mr. Terrell Latchinson for coming through and talking about his book and talking about himself, y'all. You already know. We signing out. You get to call you up. This is Before the Vision. Hey, I'm Darien Willis. We out. We go, holla.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, sir. You can.
I don't mean to cut you out. I was trying to catch you. I didn't know you was on that. That was your wrap up. I apologize. I want to give you your flower. I want to say thank you because I've watched many and many, many videos that you have of other individuals that you put on the same platform. And I want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity, giving us a voice. And yeah, I know you always say give the flowers, but you know, it's really hard to talk about yourself, but to be someone that's so humble to create a platform for others and not ask for anything, I want to say thank you so much for your platform. You don't understand how much this means to me, to the people that follow me, the people that look up to me and love me and appreciate me. We want to say thank you to you.
Oh man. Man, bro, I appreciate you, man. Hey, I don't even have words for it, bro. But
Now, that's what we have to do. It's a thankless job, but I really, really appreciate it, man. Like, it means everything. Like, I was so excited. Like, I can't tell you how nervous I was to get on here. You know, I know we was just chopping it up man to man. We have years and years of, of history together. We have a common best friend.
yeah.
And so where, you know, my friend loves you, you love my friend, that means I love you. So we have all of this in common. But for you to have this platform and just do this for individuals, that any individual that you're doing it for, I think that's great. It's a selfless thing, and I think you're a great individual for doing so. So thank you.
Hey, bro, I really appreciate it, man. You're welcome, bro. I love you too, bro. You already know we go link up and do this again.
Always.
All right, man. We go holla.